Hello, welcome to the second video. If you didn't watch the first video because you already know how to do addition and the inverse, I'm just going to quickly explain. This diamond, as a reminder, means that this problem is required, but that you'll see the answer in the last couple of slides, so you can see if you were on the right track for this problem. The sun, like I mentioned in the last video, is new. This sun represents that this problem is optional. You can choose to do it or not. It's up to what your skill set is right now and also what your time is like. If it takes you a really long time to go through the work, then I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want you to be able to do what you can do as well as you can. And that might mean that you skip some of the suns so that you can accomplish what you need to. But you may also need that extra practice. And so if you need that extra practice, or if your parents are encouraging you to do so, then please do the suns. It will help you to be better prepared. So for this problem, I'm going to set up this, and this video will be there to help you in any problem that is similar to it. But I'm also going to show how this one will be set up. So for multiplication, there are two strategies that we're going to do. We're going to show our calculations the standard way. We're going to check with something called lattice method. And some of you may be familiar with that. Some of you may have no idea what that is, and that's okay. So this video will help us with those strategies. 204 times 5 means that I have this 5 times. So that would be 204 plus 204 plus 204 plus 204 plus 204. An easier way to show that would be 204 times 5, where I multiply the 5 by each digit to represent that there are 5 of each of them. And then that would give us our answer. Another way to represent this is through lattice method. And for lattice method, you draw a box. You split it into the number of digits that is the larger amount here. So there's 3. So 1, 2, 3. So you can see there are 3 boxes. And you make it as tall as the number of digits here. In this case, there's only 1. So it's 1 box tall, 3 boxes long. Next, what you do is you place the numbers on top and on the right side so that you can do the multiplication. So 204 and 5. Now, as it shows right now, it looks something kind of like what's called area model, but what's different is that the 2 is a digit 2, not the number 200. And so we need to keep track of the place value in some other way, and that's through the diagonals. You create a line by starting at each corner and moving through the box and out the other corner. Through the box and out the other corner, through the box and out the other corner, and then the corner here. And these are your place value lines. They make sure that your number has the right place values, ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands place. And each box is the answer of a pair of numbers, the top and side numbers. So now I'm going to show it with these numbers, and this is going to be a much easier process once you understand it at the larger level. So let's start with regular or standard multiplication, see what happens. So I'm going to start with the 5, and I'm going to multiply everything by the 5. So 5 times 2 first, that's 10. So I put the 0 here, and just like with addition, if you have regrouping or too much, you need to regroup to the next place value. So now 5 times 8, because 8 is the next number that I multiply with the 5. That's 40, plus the extra is 41. So the 1 comes here, and the 4 goes on to the next thing I'm going to multiply with the 5, which is this 5. So the 4 goes here. 5 times 5, 25, plus 4 more, 29. So the product of 5 and 582 is 2,910. Now I'm going to cross out the 5. I have to cross out the regroups because those are no longer important. I've got the numbers that I need from them, but I'm not going to erase them because I want to make sure that I can go back and go through it if I made a mistake. Now I'm going to multiply by the 9, but this is actually not a 9 because the way that I read this number is not 95, it's 95. And so this is actually a 90. And how that affects things is if I multiply 90 times 2, it's very similar to 9 times 2, which is 18, but there's an extra place value of 0. And so because there's an extra place value by multiplying by 90, I'm going to put that automatic 0 right here. that is a placeholder 0. Not a 0 from the multiplication, but a 0 from the fact that this is actually 90, not 9. And then once I have the placeholder, now I can just multiply as if this was just a 9. 9 times 2, 18. The 1 regroups on top of the 8 again. 9 times 8, 72, plus 1 more, 73. 3 goes here, 7 goes on to the last thing that's going to multiply by the 9. 9 times 5, 45. 45 plus 7 is 52. So the product of 90 and 582 is this, 52,380. And now, to find our final answer, we're going to add. These are the two partial products. We'll add the partial products to find the final product, which is 0, 9, 12, that regroups, 4, 5, and 5. Okay, so according to our work, our answer is 55,290. Before I put that into the box here, I need to check. I need to make sure that I was accurate. And you can either check by inverse, which is long division with this number and one of these numbers, or you can use a second method of multiplication. That's a lot easier in my mind, so I'm going to go with that. So again, I look at the digits. There's 1, 2, 3, so it's going to be 3 long. This time it's 1, 2, so it's 2 tall. So 3 going along the top and 2 going along the side. And then I'm going to draw my diagonals. This time I'm going to draw the diagonals with a yellow highlight so you can see the dynamic of what happens. And notice I'm being very careful to go through each corner, corner to corner to corner, and then out, corner to corner, and then out. And there we go. These are our place value lines. And now let's place the numbers that we have. 582. Oops, sorry about that. $582 multiplied by 95. Now, the great thing about lattice method is even though it looks complicated and it takes some time to be able to draw it well, once you're able to set it up, it actually is a lot easier than this. This involved a regrouping and keeping track of the regrouping, and it involved these placeholder zeros, which get more and more as you go further down if you add more and more digits. This stays pretty much the same level of easiness the whole time, no matter how big the number is. It gets more complicated, but it's still easy. And that's because it doesn't matter which box you choose first. You can multiply any pair. You place the answer, and as soon as all of the boxes are filled, then you can start adding. So I'm going to do 5 times 5 because that's easy. 5 comes down, 5 comes over, and so right here is the answer for 5 times 5, which is 25. Now I'm going to do 5 times 8. 8 comes down, 5 comes over, they meet here. 5 times 8 is 40. Next, 5 times 2, that's 10. So the 2 and the 5 meet in this box, so that's 10. And notice I'm writing it as 1, 0, 4, 0, 2, 5. The line in the middle cuts the place values. All right, now I'm multiplying by 9. 9 times 2, 18. I'm going to skip to 9 times 5 for a moment. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, and then 9 times 7 is 70. Sorry, 9 times 8 is 72. All right, now we're almost done. The way that we find our answer is we add the numbers that are in between this. So in the triangles between yellow lines, those are the things you add, and you don't worry about the numbers on the outside anymore, just inside. So in between these first two yellow lines is a 0. In between the next two yellow lines are 3 triangles, 8, 1, 0, and that makes 9. In the next one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 along that diagonal. So that makes 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, just like with normal addition, you can't put more than one number one digit in the answer. So the next place value is this slide. So it gets the 1. I had mentioned 12, so this is 12. 1, 2. Now this is 12, 13, 14, 15. So 5 goes here, and 1 goes to the next slide, which is here. 4 and 1 makes 5. 5, 5, 2, 9, and 0. That checks out. So our final answer is 55,290, which you can place in here. And then when you show your work for these two different parts, you're going to put your name, and then you're going to take a picture of all of your work. And it should fit within that type of dimension. And then that goes right in here. If you're not quite sure how to insert an image, you can look at the video that I posted at the beginning of this week.